All right, today we're going to do something pretty amazing. We are going deep inside our own bodies to answer a really fundamental question. How in the world do our cells actually talk to each other? I mean, this is a process that's happening trillions of times a second inside you, right now. And it is the absolute secret to how we exist.
Just try to wrap your head around that number for a second. 37 trillion cells. That's way more cells in your body than there are stars in the Milky Way galaxy. So how do they all coordinate? How do they work together to make your heart beat, to make your lungs breathe, to let your brain even process what I'm saying? How are they not just a chaotic mess, but a single, perfectly unified you?
Well, the secret, it's an unbelievably sophisticated communication network. And to really get a handle on this, let's use an analogy that I think makes it all click. I want you to imagine that every single one of your cells is its own little high-tech smart home. You know, it's got sensors, it's got internal Wi-Fi, and it's got all these automated devices just waiting for a command to spring into action.
Okay, you ready to dive in? Here's a plan. First, we're going to look at how the cell even gets a signal in the first place. Then, we'll see how that message travels inside. After that, we'll get to the cool part, the final action the cell takes. And finally, we'll look at what happens when these signals, well, when they go wrong.
So, first things first, receiving the signal. How does a message from the outside world even make it into our cellular smart home? The star of the show here is something called a receptor. You can think of it as the cell's own personal doorbell, or maybe a dedicated sensor. It's this specialized protein, and it's just waiting for a very specific chemical signal, like a hormone, to come knocking. And when the right signal shows up and fits into that receptor, kind of like a key in a lock, the whole process just kicks into gear.
Now, cells are smart. They have two main kinds of these sensors, because not every message can just waltz through the front door. On one hand, you have surface receptors. These guys are like the doorbell. They sit right on the cell's outer wall, the membrane, and their job is to catch signals, like insulin, that can't get through on their own. But then you've got other signals, like steroid hormones, that are basically designed to slip right through that wall. And for those, the cell has internal receptors, which act more like motion sensors, just waiting to detect an authorized visitor who's already made it inside.
Okay, so the doorbell has been rung. The message is at the door. What happens next? That message has to get from the entrance to the rest of the house, right? This is where the cell's internal Wi-Fi comes online.
And this Wi-Fi is run by what we call second messengers. See, if the hormone that knocked on the door was the first messenger, these little guys are the second. They are tiny, super fast molecules. You might have heard of some like calcium ions, and they act like a Wi-Fi signal, just blasting the message from the receptor throughout the entire inside of the cell. They make sure every part of that smart home gets the memo and gets it instantly.
And this isn't just some random broadcast. Oh no, it's a beautifully organized chain reaction, and it's called a signaling cascade. So here's how it works. First, the signal locks onto the receptor. That binding makes the receptor literally change its shape. That shape change is the trigger that releases all those second messengers. The Wi-Fi turns on. And they, in turn, activate a whole series of proteins, one after another, like a perfect line of falling dominoes, carrying that message deeper and deeper into the cell.
Now here's the really crucial part. This whole domino system isn't just about relaying a message. It's about amplifying it. With each step in that cascade, the signal gets bigger and stronger. Think about your fight or flight response, right? Your body releases a tiny little bit of adrenaline, but it doesn't cause a tiny little result. No way. It triggers a massive body-wide reaction. So how does it do that?
This is where it just gets mind-boggling. Thanks to that cascade, a single molecule of adrenaline docking with a single receptor can lead to the release of literally hundreds of millions of glucose molecules into your blood for energy. That's one signal molecule on the outside causing over 1 million response molecules on the inside. It's an unbelievably efficient way to turn a tiny whisper of a signal into a house-shaking, life-saving command.
Okay, so the signal has arrived, it's been broadcast, and it's been massively amplified all over our smart home. But for what? What's the point? What's the final action? In our analogy, this is the moment the lights finally flicker on, the thermostat adjusts, or the security system activates.
Well, depending on the message it got, the cell can do a huge variety of things. The signal might travel all the way to the nucleus and tell it to activate a specific gene. That's kind of like loading up new software. Or it could order the cell's internal factories to start building a new protein. It could change the cell's entire energy budget. Or it could even tell the cell it's time to divide and create 2 brand new cells, a process that's absolutely essential for growing or healing a cut.
You know,
This whole network it's breathtakingly complex, and almost all of the time, it works flawlessly. But what happens when there's a glitch in the system? What if the doorbell is broken, or the Wi-Fi signal is just permanently scrambled?
And this right here is why understanding all of this is so incredibly critical to modern medicine. Because when this communication network fails, the consequences can be, well, they can be devastating. Faulty cellular signaling is at the very root of so many of the most significant diseases that affect us.
Take cancer, for instance. At its core, it's a disease of signaling. It's cells getting a constant, stuck signal that just says grow, 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 without ever stopping. Or in type 2 diabetes, the cells basically become deaf to the signal from insulin, so they fail to take up sugar from the blood. These aren't just abstract ideas. These are real-world breakdowns in our cell's smart home network.
And that really brings us to our final thought here. If our cells truly operate like these sophisticated smart homes, with sensors and wiring and internal programs, does that mean we could one day become the programmers? Could we learn to read the code, to fix the faulty wiring of disease, and maybe even write new instructions for health? Now that is the question that's driving the entire future of medicine, and it's something we're all going to be hearing a lot more about.